Hi guys, it's Sunday and this is the newly released um, Fort Lauderdale by LatinVFR, and I just thought I've looked around the airport, I've compared it to Google Maps. I've never been to this airport myself, but Google Maps does a pretty good job of showing this stuff. So I thought I would just go through what I found and uh, see, just so you guys could see what you'd be getting for, I think it's 17.99 for this airport. I think it is. So yeah, I've got their Miami, which is pretty cool, pretty good. You know, uh, I think it's on 1.1 now, and it does pretty well. I'm going to turn around here. We'll take a look. We'll start with the main terminal and then just go around the airport. They did, by the way, they did the downtown area. They did all of the airport, and they did at least some of this area down here. They may have done quite a bit of it, but those two cruise ships stand out right there. They did those. So if I can do this. All right. That's a parking deck. Okay, so just starting right here. So the whole terminal, by and large, it's pretty accurate. I couldn't find much to really complain about whatsoever. Um, it's well done. You know, even the windows, everything's well placed. These down here, I don't think they're transparent, um, but you know, I do like some transparent windows, but I don't know if it's that big of a deal. But the taxiway markings, everything looks to be fairly accurate. The placements of all these uh, parking places, these look reasonable. Um, that looks good. This terminal over here is pretty cool. They've got a couple places where they do have transparent glass, and it's one of them right there. So yep, once again, very well done, I think. The, I have no idea. Well, I guess that's the engine or the APU on this jet right here. This area here is accurate. I haven't seen a tram, any sort of a train or anything, but that's what I believe that is a tramway. Um, it is accurate. It's accurately placed. Looks good. As far as the terminal goes, this one's got me a little bit puzzled. They made everything very accurately, but this does not exist in the current airport. This is actually notched out and goes like this, and there's no, you know, this whole thing does not exist there. So maybe that's future expansion for the airport that's been planned. Again, more of the terminal that looks really good, accurately placed. The parking decks, sorry, I'm moving a little bit fast here. The parking decks are accurate. Um, these seem to bend. I don't think the real ones actually bend. I think they bend here but not here. But you know, how picky do you want to be, right? Good vegetation, well placed. Roadways are all accurate. And then we come to this. I mean, this is a really well done parking lot here, and the bridges are nice too. So that's good. This runway here is the one that I think everybody talks about. It's a sloped runway. By the way, this is underground highway. Kinda, I don't know, might have been done better. I'm not sure how much you would actually see that if you were flying. But it's got a highway that goes underneath the runway, and it looks pretty good Let's see, I think it'll look better once we get further away from it. But yeah, you can see there's the highway there that goes underneath it. I don't believe there's any traffic on it ever, but still fairly well modeled. That's that's a problem in practically every sim that I've seen. That they have trouble with roadways. I think Vertical Sims Tampa on X-Plane does a good job on it. He actually has one working, but that's X-Plane. This one here, I think, just stops, right? You can see the, what they've modeled there. But that's fine. Because, I mean, honestly speaking, when you come into the airport here, are you really going to see that very much? So, yeah, so you'll be taxiing over, over a highway. Let's see, what else? Come down here, we'll go right down this runway. So it's an elevated runway. This looks pretty well modeled, nice and clean. And see, that's what you're going to see. So might be a good time to slide back and just see what you're going to see when you're coming into the airport. So yeah, I would say I think this is probably the default ground texture, which isn't bad, it's not awful. It's pretty good actually to me. So far I've said lots of good things about the airport. I think there's some things that need a little bit more look. These buildings, these are hangars, they're accurately placed. The doors look good, everything looks as you would expect. And if I were flying GA into this airport, I mean, I think a lot of folks park over here, but this might be the better place to park, or here, or there's another one over there. This is Signature over here, so I imagine it's fairly popular. Let's go over here to this runway real quick because it's got a cool thing. This is, I guess, the blast wall to protect the highway. Accurately done. Looks really good, actually. And if you're flying GA, this is the, or, business, this is probably the runway you'd be landing on. Well, you could land on that one. I always think about here, because I always park here. Okay, so this building's fairly accurate. There's the facade on this one I think is something they got from someplace else. It doesn't quite match, but as far as looking at the building in the distance, it's fine. And it's this half that I think you use some sort of stock thing. This half looks right, actually. I'll come a little closer here. So, fairly accurate buildings, not too bad. And these are accurate too. This one's well done. Matches Google Maps pretty well. Not sure what's going on with this one. Maybe that's like that. I'll have to take a look. But yeah, mostly well done. Mostly. Nothing was done cheaply, I would say. Well, one thing, which I'll point out in just a little bit. But if you're flying commercial into this airport, if you're flying 737s, A320s, that sort of a thing, I think you'll be pleased. I think you'll be happy with what you get. You can see downtown over there. I'm not going to go way over there, but it looks really good. Not complaining about that whatsoever. We'll get to my complaints. I've got a couple. And yeah, all the buildings are well placed. He didn't skip any that I can see. The cruise ships over here look really nice. Like I said, downtown looks really nice. Terminal, beyond acceptable, I would say, is a good way of putting it. So you can see the interior of this part of the terminal and the interior of that part. And so let me go down here. I'm curious if these, because I know some people are interested if he did the interior of any of these buildings whatsoever. I know some people will ask, so let me just go down. No, I don't think so, but no. But the detail on things like the stairwell here, you know, there's a lot, you know, a good amount of ground clutter everywhere. Really well done jetways. So if you're, like I said, if you're back there flying in, I can make my keys work here. You know, really this is the view you're going to see the most. Okay. So the two things that I have complaints about. Okay, they did, you know, I mean, this is a nice looking building, and like I said, I would probably, almost always when I come here, I almost always park here, and I've landed here about 10, 12 times, I guess, before having this airport. These hangars are fairly accurate, I think. This is, I guess, a Learjet facility. By the way, there's a Embraer facility on the other side. And I can't remember what this one is off the top of my head. But these are accurately done. Those are fairly accurately done. A little bit of weirdness here with this balcony here. And, you know, and even these blue awnings, that's pretty accurate. This building here, you know, probably the primary FBO at the airport, looks stock. It was not done at all. I think he put a sign on it and that was it. The actual building looks significantly different than this. Would have been nice. It's always, you know, you know, they've got to think that a certain amount of people that buy their airports buy them because they fly into them, even though they're not going to go to the main terminal, they're going to go to the FBO. GA flyers, they just want to see the airport as they're coming into it. So, you know, which you do. But then when you get down there and you see that, it's not the best look. So, would have been nice to see that building done. The actual building is, to me, a much nicer looking building. It's got palm trees in front of it. You know, this can make it feel a little pretty sterile. So like I said, I wouldn't park there if it were me. These over here, kind of a little bit the same complaint, but not as bad. There's trees and bushes out in front of these buildings, and you know, it just sort of makes the airport look a little sterile. Let me put it that way. Tower looks good. We should take a look at night. Okay, so let me go here. So there's the night lighting coming up. The thing I noticed about both Miami and Tampa is there's no obstruction lights on these towers, which is, to me, a little weird. But yeah, that's what the airport looks like. I would say the lighting is good. You know, I always think that taxiway lights are way overdone, but I'm not sure what you can expect. You know, and I don't know what to expect for, 18 bucks. Um, I asked myself, how many of these airports would I buy for 18 bucks if, because there's what, 20,000 airports worldwide or something like that. You know, what's a reasonable cost? For me, I wouldn't spend a lot I wouldn't spend that much on lots of airports. Uh, the ones that I fly into the most, or I'm likely to fly into and get a lot of use out of, those are the ones that I'll spend that much money on. And this is one of those that I do fly. Like I said, I've flown into it probably a dozen times, maybe more. I don't fly into Miami so much. I got that one just for the novelty of it. There's other airports I fly into more. And so let's come to the last thing. Okay. I'm going to go back into the cockpit. Okay. So this is me sitting in the CJ. I'm getting 18 frames right here. So it's pretty blasted demanding. I usually get 30 any place I go, but here I'm getting 18. So I could, obviously, if you're going to play in here, you're probably going to have to adjust some settings, and we may give that a shot here in a second. This is live, so I could just do it right now. But real quick, take the park and brake off, and let's just see. It's kind of stuttering. I'm in a weird spot here. It's kind of stuttering as I'm going back and forth, which is not great. Not something I like at an airport. It really kills the immersion. So maybe we can sort of go this way and see if there's anything in particular that's causing it. Frames right here. It may be those terminal, the transparent terminal things. Don't know. I don't, I don't know how much that will affect your flying, your flying into the airport experience. I've got a 2070 Super with an i9, so it's not a weight computer, but it's not the strongest. Yeah, consistently 17 frames here. I'll go on down just a little ways. It's behaving a little better here. Still at 18. 19. So yeah, it's better down this end. So maybe you can do some work on performance. But I've got my settings pretty high, but so let's monkey with it a little bit. And usually it's the clouds, right? Go back here a second. Usually it's the clouds. But let's turn those down a notch or two. They're not that high. I mean, 80 is reasonable. 75 is reasonable. Volumetric clouds I've got set to high. Let's apply and save. I'm not going to change a whole lot, but we can try a couple of things. "22." And you know, 22 is, you know, while it sounds low, as long as I don't get stuttering, I'm pretty happy. And a little stuttering there, it's not bad. So, you know, if that's all you got to do, well, you know, of course I don't know. It's stuttering pretty bad this way. In a turn. Yeah, it's stuttering pretty bad here. Yeah, I don't know. Any place else, I pretty much get 30 frames. Pretty consistently. So, yeah, might need a little bit of tweaking. So, yeah. You know, I don't know. I'll let you guys decide if you think that's worth it. You know, I've been wanting Fort Lauderdale, so I got it. I'll say it's pretty. You know, except for that FBO, I would say it's pretty. So those are my two big complaints. The frame rate stuttering and that FBO. Other than that, I think it's very well done, very well modeled. Everything looks fairly accurate. You know, all the buildings are in the right places. It looks good. They're, you know, the right size, that sort of a thing. And again, he included the downtown area with the airport too. And I think he may have also actually included, I think that's the Hard Rock Cafe Hotel or something. If I can zoom in on that. Yeah. I didn't even know Shelter was here at Fort Lauderdale. I was parking over here at Signature. That's it. That's it. That's my 2 cents. And yeah. So we're seeing more airports. It's a good thing. Anyway,